Hello again. Now, residents in a number of municipalities in Limpopo province are dealing with power cuts and water cuts. Officials have blamed the lack of water in some suburbs and hundreds of villages on Eskom's rolling blackouts. My colleague, that's our reporter Moloko Moloto, is in Limpopo this afternoon, joining us now live from the capital of the province, Polokwane, and it looks like he's at the municipality offices of Polokwane. Good afternoon, Moloko. You were on the ground yesterday in different parts of Limpopo, like Mokopane and also in Mushate, and today you've also been going around, and the power problems seem to go hand in hand with the water problems in Limpopo.
That's very true, Braden. We spent the day in Mokopane, the small town just southwest of Polokwane. It belongs to a different municipality, Mogalakwena local municipality. We saw their statement alerting residents that due to load shedding, they will not be able to provide water supply in full capacity because they rely mainly on boreholes and they simply do not have any other alternative in the absence of electricity to energize those boreholes. They told us that about 179 villages are affected. But in Polokwane, the provincial capital, this is where the city actually covers several suburbs, but you also have a few townships as well as over hundreds of villages which rely on the municipality to provide water. They also issued out an alert saying that load shedding is simply making life difficult for them. They are unable to fill up their reservoirs and they were alerting residents to use water sparingly. But somebody who is going to be accounting for all this is the executive mayor of Polokwane, John Mbe. He joins me now. Sir, thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us. People here are complaining about water. You issued a media alert to say that because of load shedding, your operations are impacted. Just give us a breakdown of how much the impact is.
Well, Polokwane has got 45 wards that have got over 250 settlements. So all in all, just to give you an example, we are having a Ebenezer scheme, which is already affected by load shedding because of the issue of the load shedding, obviously, because the plant at the Ebenezer operate mainly on electricity and there's no backup electricity from the Lepelle Northern Water as well as the Olifantspoort as well. These two alone account for about 59 megaliters of water per day, which we are unable now to deliver. You'll remember that a few days ago we had a challenge already, which is more mechanical, of which we have been able to resolve together with the areas where Lepelle Northern Water needed to fix certain pump station. That is done, but now we are hard hit by the load shedding to an extent that areas like Bendo, some of the suburb around town, but also around our villages, we also rely to pump our boreholes. We rely on electricity, and those are areas where Eskom is mainly responsible. Here in Polokwane, right in town, we've got areas where we are able to isolate those areas and not do load shedding just to protect the water supply, but it's not sufficient, realizing that over 70% of our water come from those sources that I have mentioned.
The residents of your city have been saying, look, even before this latest rounds of load shedding, we have always encountered water shortages. And you did say that the problem was on the side of Lepelle Northern Water, which provides you with bulk water for you to reticulate into various destinations, be it households. But you and Lepelle, seeing that load shedding is likely to be with us forever, if it's not going to be resolved immediately, what contingency plans do you have between you and Lepelle to resolve this?
Well, what we have said is that we have been in discussion with Eskom, firstly, to try and give the Lepelle Northern Water security of supply, which they are doing in some instances, but this last one where it's stage 5, stage 6, I think they were unable to keep up to the commitment. Secondly, what we are doing is that we've got an arrangement now as Polokwane as well to procure a backup generator for the plant in Dalmada, which we believe that should not take time for it to be delivered. We've got also 30 trucks, water tankers that are delivering water to various areas based on a need. Where there is a crisis, they will rush to those particular hotspots. We are working very hard to reconnect some of the boreholes that we were not utilizing due to the construction. Both Sand River South as well as Sishio, we are now starting to bring back those all those backup back into the system even before the actual construction could end. So we are doing everything that we could, and we know that it may not necessarily be sufficient for all our residents in Polokwane, but we are doing everything to bring back every borehole that we have in the system, particularly the Sand River.
All right. I'm sorry, we're running out of time. Let's take out load shedding out of the equation for now. What are the causes of these shortages that continue to happen in your city, even when there is no load shedding?
Look, I think we've got we had system failures, I think, within the utility in terms of operation and maintenance. And like we have said, that we are confident that with the appointment of the new CEO, Dr. Reuters, things will become much better. But also from our side, I think operation and maintenance in Polokwane, particularly with our own boreholes that are supposed to also augment the water that we receive, about 29 megaliters of water, we should be able to get from our own sources. We had our own internal challenges that we have fixed. Most of those boreholes, as I said, now we are returning them back into the system.
So the residents of Polokwane who are watching us now, should next week load shedding no longer be an issue, are you making a commitment to them that the issue of water shortages will be a thing of the past?
Yes, I mean, we have resolved our mechanical, our internal problems just to deal with the short-term issues that we need to, because water is an immediate need. No one can live without. So we can promise the residents that should the load shedding come to an end, we will be able, within 48 hours, we will be able to start back filling up the reservoirs, because we were on course to start resolving our previous challenges, but unfortunately due to load shedding. But we are committing that this problem will be resolved. As soon as the load shedding ends, water will be restored within 48 hours.
What is the situation now at your reservoirs? Are they full, are they half, or are some of them at a zero level?
We've got reservoirs. The Krugersberg reservoirs are on 0%, which means that we are really running very low. There are some other reservoirs in the same area, which we have got around 4% by yesterday and by this morning, but it is not sufficient to be able to reach, particularly the high-lying areas are very, very much struggling. And we really want to commit to our residents that we will be able to resolve these issues once we also deal with the issue of load shedding. We are also committing that we have, in fact, engaged the Lepella Northern Water to ensure that there is backup. It is actually unforgivable that most of our operations should be having a backup electricity by now, and that is what we are working on to ensure that we do not have a challenge. We also manage the risk of load shedding going forward.
Finally, as I was going through the comment section on your Facebook page, some people are saying, look, customer service by some of your truck drivers is appalling, that they are just intolerant and impatient with people who are lining up to fetch water using buckets and all that. How do you then provide channels for people to be able to raise such issues, especially when people don't have water? I'm sure you'll understand the frustrations on the side of your residents.
Well, those who are experiencing challenges, we are coordinating the supply with our councillors. They should report to our councillors in all the 45 wards. They can also phone the municipality 015-290-2000 so that we can actually be able to to assist them. We will not tolerate officials that are not putting our people first. They are not serving them with love, and if that information comes through, we will take action against such officials.
All right, just a last one quickly. There is another Facebook page by one DA councillor who's saying that the same way as executive mayor, you went to meet with the residents of Seshego Township, you should actually come and meet with those in the city, creating an impression that you possibly are not mayor for all.
No, we called all the affected. In fact, I had a meeting even before the load shedding crisis with them, with all the councillors, irrespective of the areas, all the areas that are affected by the two schemes. So we will arrange a meeting with our residents. We are aware that continuous communication is very much important, and our communication team has been communicating. However, it is important that we concentrate on resolving the problem more than just communicating, because our people, they do not want to hear a speech. They want water, and that is what we are working on around the clock.
John Mbe, that's all we had time for. Thanks for your say. He is the executive mayor of Polokwane. Well, Braden, the reality is that as much as the mayor is talking about this mitigation factors, currently, there are people who do not have water. We have spoken to some of them who are saying we don't have electricity. Small businesses who are saying it's difficult to continue working if you don't have sustainable electricity during the day, but also at night.
Thank you very much, Moloko Moloto in Polokwane. They're speaking to the mayor of that municipality about the current challenges that have been brought on by ongoing load shedding, but they also seem to have their own local, specific local problems when it comes to water supply, which have been exacerbated by the ongoing blackouts. Now, KwaZulu-Natal's COCTA MEC, Sihle Zikalala, has called on law